Framing in photography might not be what you think it is. When you hear the term framing, you most likely think of a typical wooden frames in which you mount your photos before you hang them on a wall. Framing techniques in photography is used to compose better photos. In this video, we will explain how this concept is used in reframing organizations. Hi, I am John Sabiora, and welcome to Looking Through the Lens of the Leader. If you want to attract the viewer's attention, you can either brighten the main subject or darken the surrounding areas that are not important in the photograph. This is where frames come to play. Furthermore, framing in photography composition is important as it creates depth in a photo and makes it more interesting. The concept of framing is also used as an approach in managing an organization, as elaborated in the book entitled Reframing Organization, Artistry, Choice, and Leadership by Lee G. Bolman and Terrence E. Deal. In today's organizational climate, leadership trends come and go, but a leadership framework built on a solid foundation will serve an organization well, no matter what the future holds. Reframing organizations provides clear guidance and up-to-date insight for anyone facing the challenges of contemporary leadership. Bolman and Deal stated that leaders should look at and approach organizational issues from 4 perspectives, which they called frames. Bolman and Deal proposed that a leader should see the organization's challenges through the 4 frames or lenses to gain an overall view and to decide which frame or frames to use. The leader may use one frame for a time and then switch to another, or instead, the leader might combine and use a number of frames or all 4 at the same time. The 4 frames outlined by Bolman and Deal are the structural frame, human resource frame, political frame, and symbolic frame. Bolman and Deal assert that because no frame works well in every circumstance, then a leader who sticks with one frame is bound eventually to act inappropriately and ineffectively. Instead, it is the leader's responsibility to use the appropriate frames of reference and thereby behavior for each challenge. We will begin with structural frame. This frame focuses on the obvious how of change. It is mainly a task-oriented frame. It concentrates on strategy, setting measurable goals, clarifying tasks, responsibilities and reporting lines, agreeing metrics and deadlines, and creating systems and procedures. The structural manager tries to design and implement a process or structure appropriate to the problem and the circumstances. This frame includes to clarify organizational goals, manage the external environment, develop a clear structure appropriate to task and environment, clarify lines of authority, and lastly, focus on tasks, facts, logic, and it's not personality and emotions. This approach is useful when goals and information are clear, when cause-effect relations are well understood, when technologies are strong and there is a little conflict, low ambiguity, low uncertainty, and a stable legitimate authority. The second frame under Bolman and Deal's model is the human resource frame. This frame places more emphasis on people's needs. It chiefly focuses on giving employees the power and opportunity to perform their jobs well, while at the same time addressing their needs for human contact, personal growth, and job satisfaction. Human resource manager views people as the heart of any organization and attempts to be responsive to needs and goals to gain commitment and loyalty. This frame includes emphasis on support and empowerment. Listen well and communicates personal warmth and openness. Leader empowers people through participation and attempts to gain the resources people need to do a job well. Confronts when appropriate but try to do so in a supportive climate. This approach is appropriate when employee morale is high. In this approach, resources should be relatively abundant. There should be relative low conflict and low diversity. The third frame under Bolman and Deal's model is the political frame. This frame addresses the problem of individuals and interest groups having sometimes conflicting agendas, especially at times when budgets are limited and the organization has to make difficult choices. In this frame, you will see coalition building, conflict resolution work, and power-based building to support the leader's initiatives. The political leader understands the political reality of organizations and can deal with it. This frame includes, this kind of leader that uses this frame understands how important interest groups are, each with a separate agenda, understands conflict and limited resources, recognizes major constituencies and develop ties to their leadership. Conflict is managed as this leader builds power base and uses power carefully and creates arenas for negotiating differences and coming up with reasonable compromises. It works at articulating what different groups have in common and helps to identify external enemies for groups to fight together. This approach is appropriate where resources are scarce or declining, where there is goal and value conflict, and where diversity is high. The last frame under Bolman and Deal's model is the symbolic frame. This frame addresses people's needs for a sense of purpose and meaning in their work. It focuses on inspiring people by making the organization's direction feel significant and distinctive. It includes creating a motivating vision and recognizing superb performance through company celebrations. This leader views vision and inspiration as critical. People need something to believe in. People will give loyalty to an organization that has unique identity and makes them feel that what they do is really important. Symbolism is important, as is ceremony and ritual, to communicate a sense of organizational mission. Leader tends to be very visible and energetic and managed by walking around. Rely heavily on organizational traditions and values as a base for building a common vision and culture that provides cohesiveness and meaning. This approach works best when goals and information are unclear and ambiguous, where cause-effect relations are poorly understood, and where there is high cultural diversity. The four-frame model is designed to help you understand and approach issues about organizational problems, development, and change. It views organizations in four frames representing separate metaphors. Structural frame that represents like a factories or a machine. Human resource frame, it represents personal relationships. Political frames, it represents like a jungle or battles for power. And lastly, a symbolic frame. It is like a theater or a drama. Each of these frames can be thought of as a different perspective or way of looking at things, which can help you to see the same situation in a variety of ways. The structural frame focuses on the architecture of the organization. This includes goals, structure, technology, roles, and relationships. The human resource frame emphasizes individual needs, feelings, fears, prejudices, skills, and development opportunities. The political frame emphasizes power and competition, taking into account diverse beliefs, interests, behaviors, and skills. The symbolic frame treats organizations as theater or a drama, focusing on meaning and fate. With each of the four frames, the interested organizational observer can view the same situation in at least four ways. Being able to understand why specific behaviors occur in an organization is extremely useful. Organizations are exciting, dynamic, confusing, and ultimately run by individuals and groups. The four-frame approach assists in explaining why organizations are run the way they are, and it takes leadership, talent, and managerial skills to reframe an organization. Once again, this is John Ebiota. Thank you for watching this video. I hope the four frames of Bolman and Deal will help you how you're going to reframe your organization. Thank you and have a nice day.